Good evening, friends. Today I'm going to tell you something about Ballad of Bapu and how it happened. It was about 10 years back when I was in my MPhil class. I was teaching them Gandhi and King. And one of the students, he just got up in anger and stamping an indignant foot, he said, "Ma'am, Gandhi's out of date. We don't want Gandhi. We want a Hitler." And then I was so angry that I left the class. And then that student came running after me and he said, "Madam, I'm sorry, but madam, is it possible for you to write a biography of Mahatma Gandhi in poetry?" I did not say anything to him. I went home and then I started mulling over this idea. And because I was very, very fascinated with this limerick, Edward Lear and limericks, I was in school. Since then, I had been writing limericks. And so this idea started churning in my mind. Why not? Is it possible? It is possible, I said. So I started writing limericks on Mahatma Gandhi. Limericks, not exactly lampooning him, but talking about him, about his life and everything. So, of course, you know what a limerick is. It is a short verse of 5 lines with the rhyme scheme of A. Let me give you an example of a limerick by Edward Lear. There was a man from Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket. He had a daughter named Nan who ran away with a man, and as for the bucket, Nan took it. In this rhyme scheme of A, I completed this entire book in 2014, and I was myself surprised how I could have done this mammoth task. Anyway, I could do it because I loved Mahatma Gandhi. I loved his ideology of nonviolence. And let me say this, that no matter what the detractors say, no matter what the critics say, Mahatma Gandhi is for all times. With all his fads, foibles, idiosyncrasies, Gandhi is never going to die. His ideology of non-violence is never going to die. So let me read a few extracts from his book, from this book of mine. Okay. This is the beginning when he reaches Southampton. On a Saturday, he went ashore in flannels white, a dress he naively thought was right. But he was shocked when by the Southampton folks mocked for his attire being such a fright. In matters of English etiquette he was raw, so this he cultivated with his study of law. With a new vigour, this lanky figure learned English manners to camouflage this flaw. A chimney pot hat, a double watch chain of gold, a tie, and a Bond Street suit made him bold. With a newfound passion, he parted his hair in the right fashion to the idea of becoming an Englishman sold. His home and country he continued to miss, yearning to lose the label of the naive novice. He cultivated social graces, wearing many masks and faces. In trying to be polished, he found no bliss. So let me skip a few pages and come to 1916 when he is invited by Annie Besant for the inauguration of Banaras Hindu University. In this function, in his half-naked glory, Gandhi strode amidst the bedecked noblemen of a weird mould. Princes and officials wealthy, dignitaries robust and healthy, from the dais gave the frail figure looks cold. When bedecked Maharajas spoke of India's poverty, Gandhi delivered some home truths with impunity. Princes bejewelled, their breaths held, as Gandhi hurled indignity upon verbal indignity. To strip themselves of jewelry, they were admonished. Some were stunned, and some merely astonished. The atmosphere electric, soon became chaotic when he plunged forth with his speech unvarnished. The cynics, the credentials of the man doubted. Their mouths fell as curtsy he said he had flouted. The students were enthused, others were confused. Hear, hear, the youth in the audience shouted. Now let me come to the end. That is his death. The well dressed, the ill dressed, the unhealthy, the poor, the wealthy, and also the healthy. As hearts converged, the rich and the poor merged, dumbstruck over the loss of a soul so wealthy. Joined together in a despair mute, with failing eyesight, the hopeless, the destitute. Their skin sagged, their feet they dragged, completely heartbroken by a tragedy absolute. Heartbroken was grief-struck humanity, utterly unable to understand this brutal reality. Brows people mopped, the horses clip-clopped, the world reeling under this act of insanity. Of humility and truthfulness, a peculiar combination, to pearlesque buck, this was another crucifixion. Of a man so rare, so just and fair, who had rocked the world with his moral perception. His heart had stopped, his voice was stilled. Into many a heart, a fire he had instilled. His adversaries were mighty, they still are. His adversaries were mighty, but this man of piety, with a solitary perseverance, the earth had tilled. King of England, Archbishop of Canterbury, mourned the loss of an impoverished country. Chiang Kai-shek and President Truman rued the death of so fine a man, nations shocked by this loss extraordinary. The Dalai Lama of Tibet, the President of France, dignitaries world over were in a trance. In times of utter moral decadence, this man of non-violence had towered over the others, commanding reverence. Thank you so much.